Today, we're diving into a deeply personal story. It's all about hitting absolute rock bottom, but it's also about how a moment that feels like the end can actually be the very beginning of a whole new life and a powerful new mission.
So this is where our story kicks off. And wow, it's not with some big win, but with a feeling of complete and utter despair. These are the actual words of the woman whose journey we're following, and they really set the stage for just how dire her situation was. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest transformations start in the absolute darkest of places.
So you have to ask, how did she get to that point? How did things get so bad? Well, it all started with a catastrophic collapse way back in 1997.
It's crazy how fast things can just fall apart, isn't it? In early 1997, she was doing great, running a successful business. But then, just a few months later, the Asian financial crisis came through like a tidal wave. For her business, the impact was immediate and it was devastating, pushing her right to the very edge of bankruptcy.
And this is what that crisis looked like in cold, hard numbers. A staggering $300,000 in debt. I mean, can you imagine waking up to that kind of pressure every single day? It wasn't just a business problem anymore. It was this crushing weight that led her to that moment of total desperation.
But you know, sometimes when things are at their absolute worst, that's exactly when everything is about to change. A single encounter was about to completely alter the trajectory of her life. This was the turning point.
Right in the middle of all this chaos, she meets a really successful entrepreneur. But get this, the help he offered wasn't a loan, it wasn't a bailout. It was something so much more valuable. It was a powerful idea. He didn't offer to fix her money problem. He offered to change her entire way of thinking.
This was the question he posed to her, and it's so simple but so deep. She had always believed in hard work, just grinding it out, but he totally challenged that idea. And it's a question for all of us, really. Is just trying harder always the answer?
This really lays out that mental shift perfectly. On one side, you have the old mindset, just grind, grind, grind. But the new mindset was a total game changer. It's the realization that direction is so much more important than just effort, right? You can be the hardest working person in the world, but if you're running in the wrong direction, you're not getting any closer to your goal. This whole new concept was called the law of leverage, or multiplication. The idea is so simple but so profound. With the right strategy and the right direction, your efforts don't just add up one by one, they multiply. This was a total paradigm shift for her. It showed her that success could be amplified, not just earned through exhausting solo work.
Okay, so she's armed with this incredible new idea. But how on earth do you turn a concept into reality, especially when you're buried under $300,000 of debt? Her path forward really boiled down to 3 key stages. It all started with fully adopting that new mindset, that law of leverage. But an idea alone doesn't pay the bills, right? So the second and absolutely crucial stage was massive action. We're talking a relentless cycle of learning and then applying what she learned. And that, ultimately, is what led her to her goal, total freedom from debt.
And this timeline just puts everything into perspective. This wasn't some overnight miracle. From the moment she adopted this new way of thinking in 1997, it took nearly 3 years of intense, focused work to climb out of that $300,000 hole. But by 2000, she had done it.
But here's the thing, paying off the debt, that wasn't the real end of her story. In fact, it was just the beginning of her discovering her true purpose.
I mean, getting debt-free was a huge accomplishment for sure, but it wasn't the ultimate win. The real transformation, the thing that changed her to her core, was what happened next, when she shifted her focus from just her own survival to helping other people who were in the exact same spot she just escaped from.
By sharing the principles she learned, she started to see these incredible things happen. People she was mentoring started to transform their own lives. They were improving their finances, getting their health back, and maybe most importantly, rediscovering a sense of hope they thought was gone for good. She was showing them how to find their own way out.
And this is where it all clicked for her. She found her true calling. She realized that her own sense of purpose, her own happiness and value, was directly tied to her ability to help other people succeed. Her personal comeback story had just become a blueprint for others.
Her incredible journey leaves us with one final, really powerful lesson. It's a message for pretty much anyone who's facing their own challenges.
This is the core takeaway of this entire story. A crisis, that moment you hit rock bottom, it doesn't have to be a dead end. Instead, think of it as a turning point. It's a forced opportunity to change direction, to reevaluate everything, and to find a new and maybe even better path forward.
And I just love this way of putting it. Because she had experienced that darkness firsthand, she knew what it felt like to be lost. And so she chose to use that experience not as a scar, but as a light to help guide other people through their own struggles.
And so, we're going to end with a question for you. Her story shows us that our lowest moments can actually be the fuel for our greatest growth. So, if a low point is just a place to turn, what turn is your life waiting for you to make?